Are young boys being influenced to become violent? Have you seen Adolescence on Netflix? If you haven't seen it, it's a very well done series, but it is a little bit on the disturbing side. I'm going to try not to give any spoilers in this, but the subject matter I found to be fascinating. But the show is about a kid that was accused of murdering a girl in his class, and the way that it's shot is it's a single scene all the way through the show, and you feel like you're just an observer in the room watching everything that is happening. And they follow the camera around to everybody doing whatever they're doing. Anyway, the boys' friends group was described as incels, and they were talking about something called the 80-20 rule. And I've never heard anything about this, but this is apparently some Andrew Tate type shit that has been around for a little while. Basically, what this fake equation is they say that 80% of women are only attracted to 20% of the guys in society. So a lot of these guys feel like that they don't stand a chance with any women because they don't think that they are in that 20%. And my wife paused the show right after we learned about this rule and asked me, why don't these guys just work on themselves and try and be part of that 20% or raise that 20% rule? And what I said is it all boils down to insecurity. They don't think that they're good enough or they will ever be good enough. They feel like if they're not good looking enough or buff enough or tall enough, that is just going to disqualify them from 80% of the women. And the thing is when you're 13 years old like that kid, you're going through the most awkward phase of your life. Your voice is changing. You're getting parts of your faces growing at different rates than the rest of your face. You don't look your best. But if you couple that with the fact that people like Andrew Tate is out there saying that if you don't act like you're an asshole, then you're not ever going to get a woman, then that's probably going to be really influential to somebody like that. And the bad thing about this is these young guys watch people like Andrew Tate and they think, these guys are getting girls. Maybe if I act like him, I'll get girls too. Now, I was fortunate to grow up with my best friends being girls whenever I was in school. And growing up as Gen X, that really wasn't looked at as cool by other dudes. Usually guys that had best friends that were girls were usually guys who liked guys. But my hanging out with girls usually helped me to understand them better, and also they would put me in check if I was not doing something right, which I think a lot of dudes really need. But also at that age, girls are trying to figure out what they want, and they make a lot of bad mistakes too. A lot of my friends that were girls, they kind of went through this like bad boy phase where they just kind of wanted to try and get this guy and fix him or something, and it was almost always some douchebag asshole that everybody couldn't stand. Then inevitably, they find out for themselves that that guy was probably not the right choice. But the problem is that the other guys, the ones who don't feel very confident, see this girl go out with these really dickish guys, and they're thinking, okay, that must be what she wants. So they try their best to be the bad boy, and sometimes that works for them. Sometimes it doesn't. And if you try and reason with the guy saying, you know what, she's just going through a phase right now, eventually she's going to appreciate the kind of guy that you are. They don't want to hear it. They want girls to like them right now. So they try and find these like cheat codes to try and make girls like them. The problem with cheat codes is you're not being yourself. Then one of two things happens. One, you can't keep that facade up forever and she's going to learn who you are anyway. Or two, you've leaned into that horrible personality for so long that that's who you are now. And I think this is probably why so many dudes are screwed up, because they have this really warped idea of what masculinity is. Other dudes will tell them, if your friends are girls, that means you can't get girls, which you shouldn't have that mindset anyway. You shouldn't be trying to get anyone. And if you only see girls/women in a dating capacity, then you don't really see them as equals. You don't see them as people. You start to see them as a goal or a trophy or something that you need to win. So they listen to these dating advice bros and they think that they've cracked the code. But all it's teaching them is how to be toxic and possibly lonely for the rest of your life. Because if you can't connect with that person you're in a relationship with, your relationship is going to feel relatively empty. And if you get with somebody just for the physical side of the relationship, it's not much of a relationship. Because eventually one of you is going to get frustrated and or bored and want to get out of that. I don't know, man. I couldn't imagine growing up in a time where most of your social interactions is done online instead of in person. I guess I'm really glad that I grew up when I did, although it makes me feel kind of old now. Oh, we had toxic dudes and bad influences when I was young too. The difference is that dude's name was Kyle and he was just some dick in your class. He wasn't some dude that had a podcast with millions of listeners.
Yeah, By the way, I like that guy. I like his Blue Boo and Garden Tilt and all that. And I do need to get around to what he talking about. It does play a whole lot. I mean, I'm thinking I shouldn't get into a big long story about that, but I get a lot of what that guy saying. And I believe that really guy they do need to work on trying to be a better person and their best child. They don't need to bake anything or do anything like that. And yeah, it's not about winning. It should be about trying to be your best child. And that I agree with. Your best child, and that's why I'm going to turn up to what he is saying. You should try to work on being like your best child. And it shouldn't be about winning for anybody, winning to get anybody. You should work on trying to be your best self and be your self, of course. That's what I'm going to say to that. Work on your best self and to be yourself at the same time. So, to take what you learn, trying being your best self into your old self with is the whole point, and I get the whole point. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to say today.